The lower mid-range contains the low order harmonic of most instruments and is generally viewed as the bass presence rate. Boosting a signal around 300 kilohertz add clarity to your bass. Do you understand that? Because if it is between 250 to 500, we are made to know that when you want to make your bass, the person that is singing the bass, you want the bass to stand out. You want clarity to be differentiated, from the tenor, from the treble, from the soprano. You need to work at this 300 hertz to add clarity to the bass. And no string instrument also. Probably like bass guitar too. You can fine-tune your bass guitar a little bit around there. So, because your bass guitar may need something, when somebody is playing and is doing tap, we have some people tap their bass guitar, they tap it, bam, bam, bam. When they tap it, if you want that tapping, you want clarity on it. This is the frequency around which you can work on. Too much boost around 500 kilohertz can make high frequency range instruments sound muffled. Do you see that? Because when you see somebody playing like 6 strings bass guitar, 5 string bass guitar, or you are trying to mix to do your kick, these are the area where you make your kick to stand out in terms of clarity. If you want it to do deep, if you want it to do boom, it depends. This is the area you work with for the kick drums, where you bring clarity. If you want it to sound like an electric drum key, this is also the area you work upon for any string instrument, even for the kick of the drum. And for somebody that is speaking or reading news, that is singing, this is also the area you work on. Now, beware that many songs can sound more muddy due to the excess energy in this region. Yes, some people will do their recording, and at the end of the day, when they are listening back to it, when they are playing back, they discover that they mess up with the bass area. These are things you look out for. These are things you make sure you are very mindful of. These are the frequency that is responsible for the clarity of your bass. Whether bass guitar, whether kick drum, or whether somebody that is singing a baritone on the bass. These are the area you can make the voice to stand out and bring clarity to it. Now, the mid-range is from 500 to 2 hertz. Can you see the my mouse is moving between 500 and 2 hertz? Now, the mid-range determines how prominent an instrument is in the mix. Boosting around 1000, that's 1K, can give instrument a horn-like quality. Excess output at this range can sound tiny and cause ear fatigue, which is not pleasant. If boosting in this area, be very cautious, especially on vocals. And that's where we miss it. And most of this area is where we have feedback from the monitor. If you're an engineer and you don't know that this area is where feedback, when you have feedback, apart from the hum, which comes from the low end of maybe around the 50, the 60 hertz, which is the bass area where you have the low one. The other area where we have feedback, most importantly, is between this range. So when you're on stage and you hear feedback, this is the frequency you need to treat for that particular mic. between 500 and 2K, especially the 1K. That 1,000, 1K, 1K is a very, very sensitive aspect in voice, and you cannot overemphasize it to make sure that you treat it well, you arrange it well, you do the necessary cuts when it is necessary, and you do the necessary boost when it is necessary in your audio mixing. You have to be watchful for this frequency. That's where we usually have feedback on stage. And I know that most of us as engineers, we don't like feedback when we are having sound. So if boosting in this area, be very cautious. Be very cautious, especially on vocals. I repeated it, especially on vocals. The ear is particularly sensitive to how the human voice sounds and its frequency covered. Except you don't have good ear for your mixing. You know, as an engineer, we need to train our ear to hear good sound. I asked some people, I said, how do you train your ear? I was trying to talk with some colleagues in the training, how do you train your ear? You listen to good music. When you are listening to music, on which platform do you listen to it? Maybe you downloaded it to put it to your phone, and you are playing it back. Which type of earpiece are you using to help your sound? It is the earpiece that have a frequency range of what we're talking, because some people they just go to the market and they buy earpiece. Even though the engineer too, you just go to the market, you buy headphone, earpiece. Àṣebí kásá ti gbọ́ ni. No, for an engineer, it's more than that. It's more than just for you to hear. It's for you to hear clean music. You must be able to hear all your frequency range in that particular music production. I bought some particular type of headphone before I finally come around with the one I'm using now. It's done by Oramio and it's have strong bass. It's expensive, but I can tell you that whenever I'm playing back or I'm doing some editing on my laptop and I use this headphone, I hear all my frequency range completely. And before that, I've tried all others. So you must be able to, in fact, when you want to buy an earpiece as an audio engineer, you have to buy it, play music from your phone, plug it, and see whether you hear all the complete band, the complete frequency band. You must be able to hear your high, you must be able to hear your mid, you must be able to hear your low frequencies in that earpiece. We are doing training now. I make mention that if you want to enjoy this training, you need to connect an headphone to your phone. If you are not doing that, you will not be able to understand this frequency as well we are talking about. Because your earpiece will give you everything as I'm talking. And when you are talking back to me, the microphone on your earpiece will also help your audio to be also clean at my own end here. So we are talking about audio engineering. We cannot shy away from all these little things. If an instruction has been given that use earphone for this training, how much are they selling? The one I'm talking about that I just bought is about 1,000 naira. And if anybody is contributing now, I can hear the person clearly, just like you are hearing me clearly. I have some earpieces that are 200 naira. I saw some that are 400 naira. I saw some that are 500 naira. In fact, I saw 700, 800. But I was desired to look for the best that will give me the quality, because it's my life and I desire to have the best. And I finally find one, even though it's a bit expensive at 1,000. But I can tell you, I have a clean and clear audio. I have value for my money. It is very important. So what we are trying to make mention just for that is that you must be able to train your ear, and this is part of what you need to do that. To hear when 1K frequency is on, and to be able to sense feedback, to be able to know when it is on, when it's providing on quality light, and when it is making a fatigue to your hearing. Because if you are not careful, I would like to play a video, but probably maybe next week I will do that, of how one of the engineers successfully damaged the hearing of a party event planner. Yes, I said it. It was an audio engineer, a DJ. I can't call them audio engineer. It was DJ that damaged the hearing of that event planner, that lady. I think I posted it on my platform before. And it was done by BBC. The woman hearing was completely damaged. They have to do surgical operation to open her brain, and put a device inside her brain so that she can hear with the other ear. One of her ear was completely damaged by the DJ from the speaker sound. Last week I was warning us and I was telling us that when Mr. Solakoye raised a question about this talking drummer and the drummer that they keep on giving them volume, that they said they can't hear themselves. I made mention that you are not helping them because you are gradually damaging their hearing. And by the time they lose their ear completely, I've never been in an event where after you leave, your ear will keep on ringing because of the too loudness of that particular audio output for that event. Your ear will continue ringing even after you left the event. You are going home, you are driving. When you get home, you take your bath, you will still be hearing ringing in your hearing. That is what an engineer supposed to be mindful of. If it's happening to you as an engineer or it has happened to you, please don't let it reoccur itself again. Because with that, you are gradually losing your hearing. And you know that is the material we use for sound mixing. It is our hearing. So you must be very mindful. So I will try and play the video next week so that we can see the damage a DJ, I don't want to use an audio engineer, a DJ caused to the hearing of a event manager, a female event manager. And now she has to go through operation. And a sensor chip was inserted into her brain to connect to the other ear so that she can hear from both sides. Last week, I made mention that PV used to put behind their speaker, this speaker can permanently damage hearing. We cannot overemphasize all these cautions as an engineer. I must be able to help our audience so that we don't begin to push and damage their ear. So if we can hear it clean, then it means that it is good for our audience. That is why most of the time, it is always nice and good for you as an engineer to set in the midst, in the middle, in the center, where the congregation, where you have the audience, so that you too can hear what they are hearing. You won't be pushing too much of sound to them to damage their hearing, or too much of this 1K. You know what damage hearing is? This frequency. This 502 kilohertz, they are the one that damage hearing. Especially 1K, this 1000 can fast damage human hearing like anything. Before you know it, your ear is gone. Your ear starts ringing. So you must be very mindful of the use of this frequency. Now, the upper mid-range, we are now talking from 2K to 4K. Human hearing is especially sensitive to high mid frequency, with the slightest boost around here resulting in a hook change in the sound timbre. The high mid-range is responsible on attack. The high mid-range is responsible for attack on percussive and rhythm instruments. Talking about our percussions, talking about our tambourine, even though it wants to sound like an hi-hat, but it's not a hi-hat. Talking about our cymbal for drums. Talking even about the lead guitar. All this area, they are area that the frequency with a slight boost around here results in a hook change in our sound timbre. The high mid-range is responsible for attack on percussive and rhythm instruments. If boosted, this range can add presence. However, too much boost around the 3K, mind you, 3K range can cause listening fatigue. Vocals are most prominent. Vocals are most prominent. I repeat it. Vocals are most prominent around this range. So as with the mid-range, be cautioned when boosting. Be cautioned when boosting. Cutting in this range makes sound more distant and transparent. So you can still see how this area 2K to 4K can make your voice stand out. Yes, it can make your voice stand out. So when you are treating voice, whether male voice or female voice, please note this frequency. They are the area where the voice can actually stand out. And you can see them here in this range in the diagram below. Now, let's look at the presence and the sibilance, the brilliance. We have the presence from 4K to 6K. 4K to 6K is where you have the presence. And brilliance frequency is from 6K to 20K. That's where you have all these our hi-hats, our percussions, those percussions that have to do with maybe shekere, all those very high frequency, something like the voice when you are pronouncing the S, when you are pronouncing the T's. These are the area that bring all those brilliances out and the presence. The brilliance range is composed entirely of harmonics and is responsible for sparkling and air of a sound. Boosting around 12K make a recording sound more hyper. You know what we mean by hyper? It makes you feel the presence of the high frequency. It makes you high. You like it. You feel it. Overboosting in this region can accentuate ease or cause ear fatigue. Like, some people will hear it, all those excess, is can cause fatigue. Too much of it in a sound. When you are doing your mixer, you're hearing the sibilance. It is too much. We call it sibilance. Which is too much, and you need to be very mindful of this area.